everybody, but I finally got round to recording the answers to the Q&A. I've had a right nightmare the past couple of days. But anyway, let's get straight into it. First thing I want to mention though is if you are after one of these, you know, action cameras, as you know, you can get 10% off at actioncameras.co.uk using my code IAMSPICY. But what I want to mention is up until very recently, the Ghost S was not covered by the code, but it is now. So you can get 10% off the Ghost S. I just thought I'd mention that, as before now it wasn't eligible and now it is. Okay, without further ado, let's get on with the Q&A. Jesus Christ, I look like a Mexican. I need to shake this. Anyway, let's get on with the answers. Rath or Rath Rider. Do you think the crows will ever be seeking revenge, and if so, how do you plan to defend yourself? If you've seen the last video, you'll know that the crows kind of won there, because I put the bread down, they ate the bread, they put the car there, they wouldn't come to the bread, I took the car away, they got the bread. I don't think they want to attack me, I think they're just making a mockery of me, bastards. And as for defence, screaming, shouting, crying, all of the above. Okay, Picmix says, what tea do you drink? Yorkshire, Tetley, PG Tips, I myself like Tetley. If you've seen the English tea video, but more importantly, if you've seen the video after the English tea video, the one where it was like the outtakes, yeah, I don't drink tea. I know, calm, fucking calm. I do like the taste of tea, but I don't like hot drinks. I never have done. Yeah, I don't like tea. I don't like coffee. I don't like hot drinks. I like the whole tea drinking culture, and I would really like it if I did like tea, because it would save me money in caffeine, sugary drinks. I could just drink tea instead. But unfortunately, I just don't like it. And as many times as I've tried to make myself like tea, I can't get past the fact that I just don't. So, sorry. Street Magic 132, have you ever been attacked by a swan? Funnily enough, not actually attacked. I've had baby swans come to me, cygnets, you know, when they've been quite big, come up right up onto the beach next to me, then the parents follow them and then start having a go at me, like hissing and stuff, because I'm near their chicks. When the chicks walk to me, it's like, for fuck's sake, go away, leave me alone, because it's not even me that's done the problem, it's your chicks walking up here and now you're blaming me. As for actually being attacked, the closest I've had is a nibbled boot. Oh, and a bit finger once. I was feeding them. Hurt. But anyway. So, not really, no. Jack4147, what would be your perfect job? I don't know. In the past couple of years, I've kind of... things have been re-evaluated in my head a bit. Now with YouTube and stuff, my job, although it's the main earner, is actually sort of secondary. I go to work, I'll do whatever, I'll just earn my money, come home. This is where I get my enjoyment. I see work as work and that's that, but the YouTube side of it, you know, it really brings me some enjoyment. I don't think I'll be in the position that I could be earning enough money from YouTube to quit my normal day job. So that's just not very realistic, although just doing this would be brilliant. If enough people watch the videos regularly, there was enough subscribers, then I could. But unless you're into the hundreds of thousands of subscribers, I don't think you could actually earn a living on YouTube. Not reliably, because that's the thing, you need it to be reliable month on month. Perfect job? Recently I've been thinking maybe something in marketing of some sort. Something that, if I could incorporate, like, what I've learnt through, you know, through YouTube and through social stuff and all of that, if I could somehow find a job that encapsulates that, and maybe working in the sort of the promotion side of some company, if I could be working with bikes, that would be even better, or cameras, I'd enjoy that. Okay, next question comes from Nautilus Goose. I like the name. I went to the Blue Reef, I looked for the Nautiluses, I wanted to see them again. They didn't have them, by the by. And they ask, who do you most look up to in life and why? That's kind of a tricky one for me to answer, because there isn't anyone that I particularly look up to. I don't really have a hero, as it were, someone that I aspire to be like. I'm too much my own person to be like that. Okay, next question is ScooterMan979. Do you like tinted visors? What are your views on them? And what's your favourite visor, colour visor? If you saw some of my earlier videos, you would have seen that I used to use a gold mirrored visor on my Icon variant, and I really do like using it. However, they are illegal, completely, mirrored visors. It had a slight smoke in it, but it was below the legal limits of that. So during the day, when it was sunny, I could probably argue my way out of a ticket with it. given that I used to always carry my clear one with me, so if it did become nightfall I could switch back. As for different coloured tinted visors, I've never really used them, so I can't really give you an opinion on that. I would either use the clear one or the gold mirrored one, and the reason why I was using the mirrored ones, and I think is really nice, is that it really evens out the tone of everything. Even on a bright sunny day where you get those glares off of cars and stuff, it mutes that right down and you just get a nice sort of flat exposure of light to your eyes, and you can really see everything that's going on. It's much more pleasant than getting blinded by the sun. But where I work night shifts, it would mean I'd have to keep changing my visor, and an Icon variant, they're not very easy to change because you've got screws as well as the normal clip system. So I basically took it off and just haven't put it back on. But I would ideally use it all the time, apart from at night, because then you can't see shit. So there you go. Okay, No Time to Explain It asks, hi Spicy, I have a question that I really want to ask. What made you start YouTubing / motovlogging? Basically, I used to be a semi-professional photographer, and as the market changed and more people were doing their own pictures and stuff, and there was just no money in it anymore, I needed to take some time away for it, and I was just like, you know, I'm gonna try some video editing just for a bit of fun, because still playing with cameras, you know. And I did watch motovlogs at that point because I had a bike, and just looking into these things, you saw videos of people like M13 and Sven and people like that, and I used to watch their videos, and I just one day I was like, yeah, this is quite good fun, maybe I'll have a go at this. And I had my iPhone 5 strapped to my chest, as some people know. It was crap. People keep asking me about this. Watch one of the early videos if you want to know what it was like. It was shit. Did I say iPhone 5? iPhone 4 strapped on my chest with a hands-free kit and a helmet. It was, as I say, it was shit. It looked crap, it sounded crap, and I can't believe that I managed to actually start my YouTubing career with it. But I did. I don't think it would pass these days. I think people would be like, fuck, I ain't watching that. This was filmed on a frickin' potato. But the actual reason as to why I started, I actually don't know. I don't think I ever expected it to turn into this. I think it started out as, I'll make a few videos, you know, put them online. Be interesting to see, like, you know, riding the bike on video, because you don't normally get to see that when you're driving. And it kind of grew, and people really liked the videos I was putting up, and I was just like, huh? And people were finding some of the videos really funny, and I was just like, well, what? I don't understand. I'm not a funny person. I was just, you know, saying things the way I say things. And people found it really funny, and it just continues. So I'm just still in that sort of bemused. I still don't get why I have 25,000 subs and why, well, nearly 25,000 subs, and why all these things are happening. But I am pleased that they are. So thank you very much, and I'll continue doing it because I really enjoy it. Okay, the next question is from Semi Duck Truck, and he asks, may I ask, what is the difference between UK pound and quid as currency? Now, I'm answering this one, even though I know someone answered it, it's because we get this quite a lot in the UK, right? A pound, one English pound, is known, the coin, the one English pound coin, is known as a quid. So a quid and a pound are the same thing. It's, the official word is a pound, the slang is a quid. I don't know where it came from, but that's the way it is. In the same way that you might say, instead of saying $100, you'd say $100. PEY321, not quite sure how you want that pronounced. Spicy question. Yourself, Baron, Von Grumble, and me are dyslexic, and as people who are dyslexic are known to be more creative, different thinking, would you say this has helped you in your vlogging? Very interesting question, and I think that you are kind of bang on with it. As a dyslexic person, now I'm not nearly as bad as I used to be. I really did teach myself to get a lot better at it. So my spelling sometimes can be a bit off, but other than that, I'm fine. I think it is relatively accepted that dyslexic people, although they aren't very good with the written word and reading and stuff like that, we are very good thinkers and hands-on people. Like a lot of mechanics you'll probably find end up being, turn out they're dyslexic. Artists, people like that. I think it's because we can't really go down the routes of like an office job and something like that, and we think differently, so we tend to do things more creatively. I'm not quite sure exactly how to explain it, but yes, I do actually fully agree with you that dyslexia, although it is a pain in the arse when it comes to spelling, it does actually have some benefits. That's a strong word, saying benefits, but yeah, I think you're right, it does. Bennyboy Biker, how do you think your life would be now if you hadn't started motovlogging? Ooh, I think I probably wouldn't be having nearly as much fun as I have, and it really has changed me as a person, whereas before, quite serious and, you know, I should work, and, you know, I used to be a manager of a petrol station, or assistant manager, and now I'm a cook who gets treated like a fucking idiot. And I like it. I like them thinking I'm an idiot. I like not using my brain at work too much. I would love a job that I use my brain in, I'm challenged and all of that. But I get my challenge and my enjoyment, as I said earlier on, through the vlogging. So, not as happy. Really do enjoy my life, even though I'm not the most well-off person or anything like that. I am only in a 125. I really do enjoy myself and what I do. So, yeah. Okay, let's try and get through a few, otherwise this video is going to be really long. Taggart 2000. If you could ride anywhere in the world, where would it be and on what bike? Some sort of dual sport stroke off-road bike, and Iceland. I think Iceland's an amazing looking place, and I know you probably aren't allowed to, but I would love to go riding around the lava fields and stuff. Not the actual lava fields, you know, the ash fields. And just an amazing looking place. That would be fun. Right, Traz1123. Spicy, I have leather gear for summer and textile for winter, both padded. I ride a Hyosung, is it? Well, GT125R. They're quite nice bikes, actually. Do you think that a full safety gear setup for a 125 is overkill? Also, what do you prefer, leathers or textile? Leathers over textile. Maybe not on trousers, but yeah, definitely I prefer leather jackets. So just because I started out with them and I just seem to prefer them. I've used textile jackets and they're alright, but I just prefer the feel of leather. It moulds to you, it's more comfortable. But that's just personal opinion. Is it overkill? Hell no. This opinion of like, oh, if you're on a 125 you only need to wear so much gear, if you're on a scooter you only need to wear so much gear. If you come off at 30 on a scooter, it's exactly the same as coming off at 30 on a 1300 Hayabusa. If you're going to get fucked up, you're going to get fucked up. But I understand that you might not need quite as high a level of protection because you may not be going at some of the more extreme speeds if you're having a bit too much fun. But on a 125, I would say the minimum protection is like what I use, which is decent gloves, very important, a decent jacket, a decent helmet, decent boots. The only part that is kind of up to you, but I really don't advise it, is the trousers, because a lot of people on 125s will do all of that and just wear normal jeans. I did this. Jake warned me it was a stupid idea for a very long time, and I was like, yeah, well, I know, but you know, if I fall off and I scratch my knee up or something, yeah, so what, I'd be fine. No. Trust me, no, you don't want to do it. My knee's fucked. Had I been wearing like my rock jeans I'm wearing now, with like knee padding in them, I probably wouldn't have a bad knee now. But for the rest of my life, and I mean that, I will have problems with my knee because I was wearing a pair of work trousers with a pair of jeans over them. And it still went straight through everything, ripped my knee to pieces. So, no, it is not overkill at all. And the second thing I'll add to this is if you're planning on going up bikes in the future, you might find your gear still okay. In which case you don't have to go through that expenditure on top of everything else when you go to a bigger bike. It's not a bigger bike, insurance, and the leathers and all of this. You've got most of the gear to start with. Blades That Burn asks, are you watching F1 this year? I stopped watching F1 quite a few years ago. I used to watch it when I was a kid, like with Nigel Mansell and stuff, and it was amazing. And then it sort of slowly went downhill, and it got to the point that Ferrari were winning every single race, and that was because they were so advanced. But these new rules are shit. In my opinion, Formula 1 should be a set engine size and a few other parameters, and other than that, go nuts. Because the whole point of Formula 1 is supposed to be the most cutting edge, fastest, best technology we have on a car that can go around a track at the fastest time. But what they're doing now is not like that at all. It's a completely watered down version with all these, the DRS and all the other stuff. It's like, why do this? Formula 1 cars are not about being economical. If you wanted to have an economical race, have some fucking Fiat 500s go around. Formula 1 is supposed to be the cutting edge, and it just isn't anymore. So no, I will not be watching it. Plus they now sound stupid. Formula 1 has to make 19,000 RPM screaming gear changes, you know, not brr, brr. It's stupid. Anyway, Wesley T. Scooterman, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I am part Native American, Blackfoot, let's just say Native American. We come from the Crow people. My question, why so much hate for crows? As I've explained, it's not hate for crows. I love crows. It's the fact that they're so intelligent. With most other birds, if you walked up to it like a pigeon, you scare it off, it fucks off and it's gone. A crow will go 6 feet and look at you and go, wanky, you can't get me. I wish them no harm. But it's the way they're so belligerent. You've seen the video, you saw yesterday's video, that is why. They're too intelligent for their own bloody good. It's just a joke really, but yeah, little shit. S-Moto Dan, my question, did you do photography as a GCSE, and if so, what grade did you get? I got B and was well chuffed. If you didn't do photography, what GCSE did you do? As I've explained, GCSE's shit, not even worth talking about. Photography wasn't an option when I was at school as a GCSE thing. Even through art, they didn't do photography, we just didn't ever talk about it. In fact, I got into photography when I was about 15, 16, as I was leaving school with my manual camera, film, 35mm. So, no, I didn't do a GCSE in it, I was self-taught, and I've learnt what I've learnt from many years of trial and error, including quite a few years of film trial and error, and trust me, that's a big difference between click, yeah, I quite like this, or I can change this, move on, to click, I'll find out what that's like in a week's time when I get developed. That's what it was like for me when I was learning. So you guys nowadays with digital, you can literally see exactly what difference each setting makes as you get so much easier. Not angry, just jealous. Grudley HD, what's your thought on cars? Favourite brand, drifting, and do you ever plan on getting one? No, I don't ever want a car. I fucking hate them. I may get a car licence so I can drive Mrs. Spice's car when she gets one soon. But other than that, no, I don't ever want one. I hate them, and I don't like being in them because I'm very tall, and as I've explained this one before, my knee touches the dashboard, my hip touches the back of the seat. We have a frontward impact. What's going to take all the pressure? My femur. I don't want my femur snapping in half. And it does happen. I was watching a thing a little while ago of a really tall guy who had a crash in a car. It broke, the bone from the end of his knee got stuck in the dashboard and they had to pull him and the bone out of the dashboard. If I break my leg on a bike, at least it won't be embedded into a dashboard. As for thoughts on them, yeah, I don't mind watching Top Gear. I do appreciate some of these things, but I really don't aspire to own one. I'm like, well, that's nice. Wouldn't want one. And and a few other people have asked, basically, if I were to ever get a car, if I was like, you have to get a car of some sort, what would you get? I would want to get a Defender. A Land Rover Defender. Greedy Bear Central, why did you choose your Canon over whatever the Nikon equivalent is? The reason I chose Canon is because Canon is better than Nikon. And I don't wear sandals. No, I'm joking. There is a huge argument between Canon and Nikon. I basically, and it's not Nikon, it's Nikon. Americans. Though I am with you that DRZ is DRZ and not DRZ, because that sounds silly and I get so much trouble for saying DRZ. I basically have always used Canon because I've always accepted Canon to be the better brand. The colour reproduction, I believe, in Nikon's used to be slightly better than Canon, but I don't think there's a huge amount in it anymore. These cameras are freaking amazing, and this is an old one. This is a 1D Mark IIN, and it was about £2 when I bought it second hand, and many years ago, and it's worth about £800 now, if I'm lucky. It's just basically personal preference, but I will always be a Canon guy. Though I do use Sigma lenses because I think Canon lenses, although they are very good, are a little bit overpriced. Yolo McGreedy, you are given £1 million and you have to spend it on a donkey load of fun or nonsensical stuff. No bike licence or anything like that. I'm thinking something like a fucking hoverplane car. Honestly, I would look into building a very large quadcopter that I could get all my ASLR stuff on. Something down that road, that would be very interesting. I'd only do it if I had that much money, because if I saw like 2.5–3 grand's worth of quadcopter and 4 or 5 grand's worth of camera equipment sail away, I probably would just kill myself at that point. And I'd also want an engineering workshop full of lathes, CNC machines, Mexicans that can teach me how to use them, 3D printers, you know, mills. Just to be able to create things easily would be fun. And a fucking huge scarecrow, flying, 40 foot tall, grenade launchers, loud sirens with cats going meow. Urban RS, will you ever do a meetup? I get this question a lot. Will you ever do a meetup? I've done a meet every year for the past 2 years, and there is one due this year. However, as I've said in the last Q&A, it is looking more and more iffy because of numbers. And I still at this point state I don't think it's going to happen. It's still going to be a hell of a lot of hassle. I'm planning to go to the Brighton Burn Up this year, so maybe I'll just say, well, look, I'm going to the Brighton Burn Up. If you want to go there, and we'll see each other there. Maybe. That might be the easiest option because we'll all be there anyway. But as for the actual meet of its own, it's a lot of people and a lot of responsibility. And as I say, last year we had like 45 people come. I only had, what, 5, 6, 7,000 subs. It's going to be insane how many people could turn up to it, and it's not very responsible to have that many bikes together uncoordinated and stuff, and just driving together is a bit of a nightmare. And then you've got people driving the entire length of the country, and it's like, well, is it worth them driving all the way down just to stand in a car park and talk? Because I think that's the most logical solution, if it were to actually happen, is to all park up in one place, you know, talk to each other. People go off on little rides together, but I don't think we'd go off in one big group. And then you've got a question in June sort of time, and it's going to have to be weekend for most people, so it means like a weekend off work. Where the fuck are we going to do that? And there's loads of suggestions of people saying, oh, well, do it at this place, do it at that place. Someone said, why don't you do it at Lumi's? I'm pretty damn sure that on the weekend in June, it's going to be pretty busy in Lumi's, let alone space for another maybe 100 bikes. Well, it looks like I've got to the end of the questions. Thank God, because this video is going to be very long, because I've gone off on tangents like you wouldn't believe. I'm still going to have to edit this down, I think, a bit. So if it's a little bit choppy, I'm sorry, but I've had to do it that way. Sorry if I didn't answer your question. Every time I get people saying, oh man, you didn't answer my question, I'm sorry, but 20 out of like 300 and something questions is not high chances you're getting answered necessarily. Unless you make it a really, really good question, then it probably will be. Don't forget, as I said, actioncameras.co.uk, I am code IronSpice, you get 10% off, and it now includes the Drift S. It pretty much covers everything on the website. The only thing I don't think it covers doesn't cover is quadcopters, I'm afraid. But pretty much everything else you can get 10% off, and I've had loads of people say thank you very much, because when you're buying your camera and all that bits and pieces, 10% doesn't sound like a lot, but it can actually save you quite a chunk. So, there you go. I hope it helps, and I will catch you next time. But finally, one of them just goes, oh, fuck, you know what, enough bread. That's all I ever get given these days is fucking bread. You know, you get a burger, people normally eat the burger, leave the fucking bread. How often do you find that you go to a burger